Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to our college because after this COVID pandemic outbreak, first time we are meeting. So, I would like to say that a warm welcome to you for the zoology department. I think already Madam has circulated you the syllabus copy through this group only. Hope you are aware of the topics or the chapters that you are supposed to study for this semester. As far as my portion is concerned, I will have to explain you about some of the topics of the chapters under ecology and a few topics under ethology. Let me start off with ecology. You know very well about what is ecology. So the meaning of the word ecology was given by German biologist Ernst Haeckel in 1869. The word ecology is derived from Greek word oikos meaning house or habitat or place of living and logos meaning to study. Ecology is defined as the study of interrelationship of different organisms with each other and with their environment. It is concerned with the general principles that apply to both animals and plants. Objectives of ecological studies. It is important for humanity to understand its environment because we have the ability to modify the environment through the use of technology and through overexploitation of natural resources as a result of greed or sheer pressure of numbers. Therefore, ecology is more than just the understanding of the interrelationships between organisms and their environment. It also has social, political, economic, and technological dimensions. It is also a study of evolutionary development of organisms, the biological productivity, and energy flow in the natural system. To develop mathematical models to relate interaction of parameters and to predict the effects. Classification of ecology. Based on the study area, ecology is of two types. First one is autecology, second one synecology. Autecology, it deals with the study of an individual species of organisms and its population. The ecologists study the behavior and adaptations of particular species to the environmental condition at every stage of that individual's life cycle. It is also called the species ecology. Second one, synecology. It deals with the study of communities, their composition, their behavior and relation with the environment. It is also called as ecology of communities. It is further divided into three types: population ecology, community ecology, and ecosystem ecology. Coming to environment, we are all aware of the meaning of the term environment. The term environment is derived from the French term environs, meaning around or encircle or encompass. It can also refer to as the totality of the externalities that affect human life. It comprises of all the biotic, living, abiotic, non-living, natural and human components. Biotic components include all types of life forms, while the abiotic components include physical and chemical substances. Coming to ecosystem, the term ecosystem was first proposed by A.G. Tansley in 1935. He defined it as the system resulting from the interaction of all the living and non-living factors of the environment. An ecosystem consists of the biological community that occurs in some local and the physical and chemical factors. that make up its non-living or abiotic environment. There are many examples of ecosystem, that is a pond ecosystem, a forest ecosystem, an estuary and a grassland. The picture shows the various types of ecosystems. Types of ecosystems. First one is natural ecosystem. These operate under natural conditions without any major interference by man, under which the first type is terrestrial ecosystem. The good examples of terrestrial ecosystems are forest, grassland, desert, etc. Coming to the second type, aquatic ecosystem. Freshwater, the first type. Under freshwater, the freshwater is also called lotic. Running water like spring, stream or rivers, or lentic, that is standing water as lake, pond or pools, etc. Second type, marine water ecosystem, such as deep bodies as ocean or shallow ones as sea or an estuary. So the picture shows you the lentic ecosystem, that is standing water ecosystem. The good example is a lake, and the lotic type, which is a flowing water type, with the best example is river ecosystem. The second main type of ecosystem, artificial, which is also called man-engineered ecosystem, because human can manipulate all the aspects of this ecosystem, and this is being designed and developed by humans. These are maintained artificially by man, where by addition of energy and planned manipulation, natural balance is disturbed regularly. Example, cropland ecosystem. So in the slide you can see a picture which shows you an example of an artificial ecosystem, that is cropland ecosystem. Components of ecosystem. The first being abiotic. It consists of non-living chemical and physical components such as water, air, nutrients in the soil, or water and solar energy. Physical and chemical factors that influence living organisms in land, ecosystem and aquatic life zones. The abiotic factors can act as limiting factors that keep a population at a certain level. These abiotic components are mainly of two types. The first one being climatic factors, which include rain, temperature, light, wind, etc. And the second is edaphic factors, which include soil, pH, topography, minerals, etc. Components of ecosystem continuation. The second major factor or the component of ecosystem will be biotic factors. So all the living things that directly or indirectly affect the ecosystem includes biotic factors that interact with other living organisms, and the physical environment can also be limiting factors. Example, disease. It could be a bacterial disease or a predator, food resources. It is made up of biological components consisting of living and dead plants, animals and microorganisms. The major biological components of ecosystem. First one being producers, which are also called autotrophs, that is self-feeders. So these can make their own food from compounds that are obtained from their environment. They are the source of all food in an ecosystem. On land, most producers are green plants. In freshwater and marine ecosystems, algae and plants are the major producers near shorelines. In open water, the dominant producers are phytoplanktons. Most of them are microscopic, that float on the water or the drift on the water. Most producers capture sunlight to make carbohydrates, such as glucose by means of photosynthesis. Continuation of the components of ecosystem, that is under biotic factors. B. Consumers, which are also called heterotrophs or other feeders. These consumers get their energy and nutrients by feeding on other organisms or their remains, which is further classified into the following types: primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, quaternary consumers, and finally omnivores. First one, primary consumers. These are those that eat producers, that is plants, as a source of food. They are also known as herbivores. Second type, secondary consumers or carnivores, which eat other animals. Third one, tertiary consumers, the large carnivores which feed on secondary consumers. Quaternary consumers, the largest carnivores that feed on tertiary consumers. They are not eaten by any animals because of their body size. Then the fifth one, omnivores. These have mixed diet that include both plants and animals. The third main components of ecosystem, that is decomposers. Mostly certain types of bacteria and fungi are specialized consumers that recycle organic matter in the ecosystem. They do this by means of or by degrading dead organic material to get nutrients and releasing the resulting simpler inorganic compounds into the soil and water, where they can be taken up as nutrients by producers. The last part of these components of ecosystem, as you see in the slide, it gives you a detailed explanation about the different components of an ecosystem. Ecosystem basically comprising of abiotic and biotic components. Abiotic includes climatic factors and edaphic factors. Climatic factors include rain, light, wind, temperature. Edaphic factors include soil, pH, minerals, and topography. Then under biotic components, there are three major types: producers, consumers, and decomposers. As I told you already, producers are also called autotrophs, consumers are also called heterotrophs, and decomposers as saprophytes. And these consumers are further classified into primary consumers, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary consumers. Coming to the other topics of this chapter, the first one being the biosphere. So biosphere is a portion of earth that supports life. The prefix bio means life. It includes the surface of the earth, atmosphere, oceans, lakes, and extends down several kilometers below the surface to any location that includes life. So here this slide shows you some pictures of the different part of the biosphere, like rainforest, desert, and marine life. Ecologists study these organisms, their adaptations, and the factors in their environments. These factors are divided into two larger groups. One is living factors, that is biotic, and non-living factor, abiotic. The further continuation of the biosphere. What is an organism? It is one individual. It is the lowest level of biosphere. Then comes population. It is a single species that share the same geographic location at the same time. Individual organisms in the population compete for the same resources. If the resources are high, the population will grow, and if not, the population will decrease. Eventually, the population numbers will match the resources for the area. Biological community, next level of the organisms in a biosphere. It is a group of interacting populations that occupy the same geographic area at the same time. Different populations may or may not compete for resources. Now coming to the next principle under this ecosystem, hydrosphere. Hydro refers to water. So hydrosphere includes all water that is present on the earth. The abundance of water on earth is a unique feature that clearly distinguishes our blue planet from others in the solar system. So that means, as far as the records are concerned, scientific records are concerned, the water is present exclusively in our planet Earth. Not a drop of liquid water can be found anywhere else in the solar system. It is because the Earth has just the right mass, the right chemical composition, the right atmosphere, and is the right distance from the Sun that permits water to exist mainly as a liquid. Most of the water is contained in the oceans. Let me explain you how this water gets recycled, or the hydrological, or what is otherwise called water cycle. As you observe in the picture, water which covers the majority of the Earth's surface circulates through the crust of the Earth, oceans, and atmosphere in what is known as the water cycle. So the picture will clearly explain you how water gets recycled in this Earth. Now coming to atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere is about 300 miles thick, but most of the atmosphere, that is about 80%, is within 10 miles of the surface of the Earth. There is no exact place where the atmosphere ends. It just gets thinner and thinner until it merges with the outer surface, outer space. What is the atmosphere? An atmosphere is defined as the gaseous envelope that surrounds a celestial body. Therefore, the Earth, like other planets in the solar system, has an atmosphere which is retained by gravitational attraction and largely rotates with it. The vertical structure of the atmosphere, which is clearly depicted in this image, let me slightly enlarge you so that you can see the slide properly. The atmosphere is divided into 4 isothermal layers or spheres. They are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. Each layer is characterized by a uniform change in temperature with increasing altitude. In some layers, there is an increase in temperature with altitude, while in others, it decreases with increasing altitude. The top or boundary of each layer is denoted by a pause where the temperature profile abruptly changes. So as you observe here in this picture, a graphical representation of the different layers of the atmosphere. So say up to 10 kilometers distance, it is referred to as troposphere, and from 10 to 50, it is referred to as stratosphere, and from 50 to 90, it is referred to as mesosphere, and from 90 to 90 and above, it is referred to as thermosphere, mainly because there is a high temperature in this layer or the region. Coming to lithosphere, literally means rock sphere, which represents the solid portion of the continents, having a thickness of about 100 km and average density of 3.5. It is composed of mostly silicate minerals. The Earth's surface largely depends on the nature, mechanism, and magnitude of the endogenic forces which originate from within the Earth. It is very difficult to construction of the Earth's interior because it is beyond the range of direct observation by men. So here is a pictorial representation of the different components of the lithosphere or the lithosphere structure. As you see here, in the core part, the inner core, what is called otherwise as, after this there will be an outer core, a mantle layer, an upper mantle and a crust. So crust is the superior most layer present in a lithosphere. So as I have mentioned you earlier in this previous slide, above that atmosphere will be there, and again that atmosphere has the sub-layers like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Thank you. Thank you for patient listening. In the next video or in the next class, let me continue with this concept of ecosystem. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay home.